Okay, in this video, I'm going to explain the reports and how you should use them to plan for the next period. Okay, I'm going to use an example or I'm going to use the report for Team 1, Group 5 as an example, but the same principle applies to all other teams. Okay, so when you get your reports, it has actually some crucial information that you have um, to take note of. Okay, and the first of the information that you need from the report is your potential sales. Okay, this figure here. Okay, uh, the potential sales is actually your demand for previous period. Some of you guys sold more than your demand because some other company underproduced and they sent customers to you. But those customers, they were not really part of your demand. You were just lucky that the other companies sold out. Okay, so that's why when you estimate your sales for the next 6 months, don't use the what you sold. Don't use your sales, but you must use your potential sales, which is your demand for period one. So in business, you estimate or you estimate your sales for the future using your your past or using your sales history. Okay, in this case, you will use the sales demand for period one to estimate the sales for the next period, which is period two. So if you look at the news, obviously the news for period two now informed you that there's a 20% growth in the market. So if this was your demand for the first period and there's a possible 20% growth in the next 6 months, it means now you take the growth or you take your old sales units, old demand, which is your potential sales, plus 20%, not plus 20, but plus 20%. Okay, so that will give you what you expect to sell in your next 6 months. Okay, that's how it works. So you take your potential, you take the 20% from the news, your potential sales plus 20% gives you your demand for the next 6 months. And where you use that demand on the planning tool, it's under market retail shop. Okay, so now but from this figure, there are also other important figures. It's under this section, internal process. As you can see, the headline there says internal process. So you have to look at the number of units you have. You see here, you have finished products, opening stock. You opened this period, period one, you opened your shop with 0 units because everything that you sold, you produced during period one. So you opened your shop with 0 stock, then you produced 235, and you guys sold, you send these units to the shop, and you have uh, one unit left. Okay, which means you produced 235, 234 were sold in period one. There's still one left in the shop to be sold together with the new units that you are going to produce in the next period, which is period two. So you have to take note of how many units you have, each company, not only team one. In this case, team one only has one, but each of you guys will receive your reports and you must check how many units you have in the shop currently. Okay, you take this and the value per unit. This is the cost it costed these guys to produce actually this product in period two. Okay, so you take now um, uh, the number of units you have and the value per unit. Okay, And where do you use these figures on the planning tool? You use them under market. There are two yellow fields under market, under the title stock inventory current period. If you go to market, there's a section that says stock inventory current period. There's that's where you indicate how many units you have currently in the shop and at what value. So you will have a number of units and obviously value per unit. Then you use those figures there. Okay. Then you have the third figures. Scroll down, same page. It's under the title personnel, outline of the cost centers. This is what happened during period 1. Start headcount. These are the workers that were hired at startup, and this company hired an additional worker in production in during period 1, and currently they have 3 workers in their company. So what do you need to know how many workers you need? Because under personnel, you will have to make a decision whether to hire or fire some workers depending on how many workers you will need from your planning for period 2. Okay, the difference between the workers you will need under the planning tool, under personnel in period 2, and this one will give you a decision whether to hire or fire someone. But that I will explain during live session. If you schedule live session with me, okay? And obviously, you have more crucial information is and the balance sheet. You have a new balance sheet here that you will have to use after you make decisions for the second period. There's also a balance sheet on the planning tool. You update the existing figures in the balance sheet with these new figures on the report. Okay, so that's how you use this report. Okay, but those are the basic information that you need from the report. Okay, yeah, but there are other as you can see, you can also use, I might send you this as well, and you can also see you can use this balance sheet here also. As you can see, this is balance sheet for company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just use the same balance sheet to update your balance sheet on the report, I mean on the planning tool. This is just a summary of what happened in the industry, the profits and losses of all the teams, how much they spend on how much, all their expenses, and whether how much they invest in expenses like R&D. It's just an industry report as well. Okay, and that's it. Maybe you can look at the decision form. This is decision form for your company of the decision you made in the previous period. You can also use them to better your decisions. You can see how much you charged and all that. Okay, so that's how you use the reports.